So where we left off was verse 55, Nenche. For the children of Israel are servants for me; they are my servants for whom I took out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And that was connected to why, well, really why we do anything, but what's why we do through all this stuff with the Jubilee, connected to Shemitah and Jubilee and helping people out. We do it because God took us out of Egypt. Because really, would a person actually take money out of their wallet just voluntarily? I mean, do people say, well, it's a moral obligation, but where do those morals come from? One of the many sources in the Western world, and actually the world in general, is of course the Torah. Were there systems of laws before the Torah was given? Of course there were, and there are many systems of laws in the world that are not based on the Bible or on the Quran or the New Testament. But this one specifically tells us the reason why we should do something. Because it's a good push, let's just say. Theological push. All right, so let's continue. Aleph. You shall not make idols for yourself. You should not set up a statue or a monument for yourselves. And in your land you shall not place a pavement stone on which to prostrate yourself, for I am the Lord your God. Now, so you can't make idols anywhere in the world. It doesn't really matter about Israel. But specifically in Israel, you're not allowed to make this a pavement stone on which to prostrate yourself, for I am the Lord your God. So there's this kind of this minhag. I don't know how strictly it's enforced, but like when you when you're in Beit Knesset, a lot of the floors are made out of stone or shice or made out of some kind of looks like stone, let's say. And so we only bow down in Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah time period. So people have this thing of putting a towel down, putting something like a newspaper or something over the floor, so they're not technically on the floor when they're bowing down, which we only do on once a year on the high holidays. And the Kohanim, when they duchen, when they go up to say their Birkat Kohanim, sometimes there's carpeting up there because they're up on a few steps. They're supposed to be a little bit elevated, literally above the ground level or the rest of the level of the congregants in the Beit Knesset or the synagogue. So, and if that's not true, they put like a little mattress down because they take off their shoes and they have their socks on. I would think most of the time. Maybe in Israel, there's guys who go around without socks on, with just sandals and no socks. But either way, you're not supposed to bow down on stone. Okay. So you should keep my Sabbaths and fear my sanctuary. I am the Lord. So I don't know if this is connected to Shemitah or just Shabbat in general, but I think just in general we have to keep Shabbat, we have to keep Shemitah, which is a different cycle, but also connected to the number 7. Okay, if you have 7 years as opposed to 7 days, right? You shall follow my statutes and observe my commandments and perform them. I'm sorry, if to make this clear, if you follow my statutes and observe them and my commandments and my statutes and observe my commandments and perform them, I will give you rains in their time, and the land will yield its produce, and the tree of the field will give forth its fruit. So here we have a promise. What do you get out of keeping Hashem's laws? Your threshing will last until the vintage, and the vintage will last until the sowing, and you'll eat your food in safety, and you will live in security in your land. And I'll grant peace in the land, and you shall lie down with no one to frighten you, and I'll move wild beasts from the land, and no army will pass through your land. Wow. I mean, how many people of us have to be doing, is this like if I'm doing it but nobody else is doing it, then this doesn't happen. I mean, obviously one person isn't going to change the tide. So I think it has to be the majority of the Jews have to be doing this. I mean, the laws of the Torah to the best of their ability. You will pursue your enemies, and they will fall by the sword before you. 5 of you will pursue 100, and 100 of you will pursue 10,000 of your enemies will fall by the sword before you. I will turn towards you, and I'll make you fruitful and increase you, and I'll set up my covenant with you. But wait a minute, why are the armies even in your land? You just said that you won't have any armies come to your land. So why is this why are these last 3 verses even necessary? Because it shouldn't be happening. If you're really if God's promise is true, then you're not going to have any armies coming after you. So this is if you pursue your enemies. But why are you pursuing? Why do you even have any enemies? Why are you going after them? Why are you going after anybody? You're living quietly in Eretz Israel. You're keeping the mitzvot. We're all keeping the mitzvot. Everything is good. What do we need to be at this situation of verse Zion 4 where it says you're going to pursue your enemies and they'll be fall by the sword by you? I mean, it sounds great. It's nice. But why is it even happening? So that's a question I have. And that's like a long video for today. So I will finish.